Hi everyone, it's Sarah here and I'm going to show you how to make the paper flowers that I've put on some of these cards here. I know one or two have asked how I've done it, so this is going to be a quick tutorial to show you. So they're all made out of paper and I'll show you just in a second which paper I've used, but this is just a close-up of some of the cards with the flowers on them. You can see there. Okay, so I'll show you now what I used to start off. So the paper that I have actually used is, if you're in the UK, it's this one here by Hobbycraft, Premium Artist Pad, and it's an A3 pad. It's a lovely quality, you can hear. It's more like a card than a paper. And what I do is I just die cut loads and loads of flower shapes. And what I tend to do is when I've got, half an hour to spare, I'll just cut out a load, keep them in my box, and then they're all ready for me to use when I want. So I've got different sizes and types of flower shapes here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take 3 of them here, and this will make one big flower. I'm using 1 smaller and 2 bigger. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to colour them, and I've been using this. It's the Spectrum Noir water reactive dyes, and these, when you spritz it with water, you'll notice the lovely effect it gives. So all I'm going to do is just roughly colour these. You can use Distress Oxides as well, of course, and you can colour with any inks that you've got. I just like these because of the effect they have when they've been spritzed with the water. So got those 3 there like that, and I've just got my water bottle here. Just going to spritz it lightly. Oh, before I do that, I also need a piece of kitchen roll. Just one sec. Right, got it there, my piece of kitchen roll. So just lightly spritz. Okay, so you've got little droplets of water there. Now with my kitchen roll, I'm just going to dab it. Now hopefully on the video you'll be able to see there's a mottled effect. Okay, so where the water droplets were, it's like taken off the colour. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to shape these flowers now. So I've got my moulding mat here, and I've got an embossing tool. You can just see that's still a bit wet there. I'm just going to dab that off. And what I do is I just sort of roll the ball just on the edges of the petals like that, and straight away you should see, if I can just hold it a bit closer, can you see that sort of wrinkling? So I'm going to do that on all of the petals. Now you might have a different way of crinkling up your edges on your petals. Then I'm just going to go into from the middle outwards. I just sort of roll the ball along again, and that's creasing up all of the petal. And of course in real life there's lots of flowers that do have petals on them that do look very sort of creased and crumpled. Okay, so press that in the middle. Once I've done that, I'm going to turn it around and I'm going to press in the middle. But what I do now is, if you can see, with my fingers I'm just going to gather it up like that. Okay, so can you see that? Okay, so I'm just going to do it with the others. So once again I'm going to go round, and of course whilst the paper is wet, that's what makes it pliable. If you've done a few and you find that it's too hard to shape, just spritz it a little bit on the back with a bit more water just to soften up the paper, and then that will work. Don't do it on the coloured side, because obviously then you're going to be taking off more colour. Right, so I'm going to do the same again in the middle, just press it in like that, sort of cup it. Okay, get my next one. Just use the ball tool on that again. And you can get different size embossing tools. Just go around like that. I know some people like to just sort of bodge like that, and if that's how you want to do it, that's fine. Just on that last petal. I'm just going to go around there like that. And you can see when you do it, it's already curling petals up. Turn it over, press again in the middle, And I'm just using my fingers again to pull it up around the ball tool, if you can see, like that. There you go. Now we use a very important piece of equipment, and that is an egg box. And then what I do is I just place them in each compartment just to let them dry into that shape. So I've got a few here that I've already done. So I'm just going to get these 3 out, and I'll show you how I actually assemble the flower. Now, first thing we need to do is get a pokey tool, and we're going to pierce a hole in the middle of each flower. And what I do is I push that all the way through, so I've got the full width of the pokey tool there. So I'm going to do it on all 3. Push that in like that. Now at this point you can leave the petals as they are, or if you want to, you can just go back and just add just a little bit of colour to the edges. That's entirely up to you. I'll just add a bit onto these. And just this last one. And of course where the paper is creased, it sort of shows up that creasing a bit more. Okay, so I've got that bit done. So now I'm going to put some stamens in. And there's all sorts that you can buy on the market. I'm going to have a go at, I think I'm going to use some of these white ones. And this is what I do. So I've got a little bundle there. I'm going to get, I don't know about, let me see, I've got there 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I might use about 9, because obviously those are going to be doubled over. Now we also need another very important piece of equipment, and what it is this. Now this is, I think it's called floristry wire. Again, if you're in the UK, I bought this from the range. Very thin wire, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to cut a length, not very long, like that. And I suggest using older scissors. Okay, and then what should I do with this one? Just so I get a fold, a fold in the middle. I'm going to fold this in half, like this, so it looks like a bit like a hair clip. Okay, now with these, I'll just drop a few out, pop those back in. This is what I'm going to do. Now I've used quite a few on this because it's a bigger flower that I'm using. If it was a smaller flower, I'd use a bit less. So I'm just going to thread these onto here. Whoops, where are we going? That's it. Okay, so if you can just see that there like that, and pull them through like this. So now I can poke this, or make sure you start off with your smaller flower. I'm just going to pull that through. Let's just see. Sometimes I might have to tug a little bit. There we go. Can you see that? Okay. So what I'm going to do now is add my next layer of petals. Pull that through. But when you do this, you're going to stagger the petals. Just if I can just pull that through, that's it. So I don't want them like that. I'm going to just turn the petals like that, so they're slightly staggered. That's it. And what I'm going to do now is just open that up there like that, get my glue gun, and I'm just going to put a little bit of glue there. It's probably more than I need really. Okay, oops, that's just turned. I've still got a bit of time though with the glue. That's it. Okay, so that's 2 layers. Now you could just keep it at that if you want to, but I'm going to add 1 more layer. So just put that through there again, pull it through. That's it. And again, stagger the layers. Bit more glue there. And just hold that for a few seconds to let it just take. I'll just turn that a little bit. Okay. And then there is my flower. Okay, so here I've got some some that I've coloured up in blue, ready to make into flowers, and those are quite firm. They've just set like that, and they're great. And obviously if you're going to put these on a card and you want to send it off to somebody, it's best to put them in a box. Then the only thing I will do now is on the back, I'll just put another little bit of glue. Okay, and I'll just let that set, and then when I'm ready I will just trim the end of that off there, just so there's a little bit of the stamen wire sticking out, because obviously with that length trying to stick that on a card is going to be difficult. That will come in the way, so I'll just trim that off so that when I'm ready to stick this onto a card, I will just put my glue from the glue gun there and then place it on my card. So that's the flower there, very quick and easy to make. Like I say, you do need to use a good quality paper. Use any inks that you've got and your stamens, and you're done. So just to remind you what the cards look like with the flowers on. So that one there, I think this one I used, the colour was Fig, something like that, the Spectrum Noir one. Then this one here, these have been done with Oasis. So here I've used two different types of flower dye. That was a lily one and that was a dogwood rose. Then we've got this one here, which has been made with the same dye that I did this one with, but here I've only used two bigger layers, and on that flower there I've just used one layer and just put the stamens in. And then that one, and that's the lily one, and that one I've just layered it 3 times. So that's how you make the flowers. So I hope you'll have a go, and then you'll get in touch with me and let me know how you've got on.